What's up guys, welcome to today's video. So we're taking care of the last thing that I need to start this thing. Well, I could have started, I guess, with the stock fuel system, but I might as well just put everything together. So let's look at what we're dealing with. So I have MWR's full fuel return system along with the instructions, which don't really have pictures, but I'm going to try to show you guys as best as I can what I'm doing. So they supply basically everything you need: the AEM fuel pressure regulator with the gauge, and this little bracket, which I believe mounts onto this side of the 1ZZ, but we're about to find out. And this long line, we're just going to run it down the firewall along with the brake lines and the fuel lines. So stick around and find out how to install, I guess, the fuel pressure regulator and return system on a car that doesn't originally have one. Alright, so I had to undo some of these again just to see if I could mount that. I'm pretty sure this was designed to go right here because that's where the two holes on the bracket line up. But I couldn't for the life of me get this to line up and then this be okay with the ground and such, so it's sketch, but I'm gonna just use this one bolt hole here, and it's really sturdy actually. Like, I'm using a lot of force and it's not bending down. And then from here I ran the return line down the driver's side of the firewall, at least in the USDM Celica. And yeah, so I already put sealant on these threads, and I'll show you guys what sealant I'm using in a bit, but let me show you what's going on under the car. Alright, so there's a transmission. If we go underneath the subframe, there's the return line. Is that kind of sketchy that I'm using zip ties? Probably. Are they going to corrode and fall apart? Probably not. So I mean, besides, the line isn't that heavy, and I'm fairly confident that it should be okay. I'm probably going to use more zip ties in a bit though, but I'm just trying to get it lined up, and I got to run it to the back and up and over the muffler cover. So we're going to do that. Alright guys, so back of the car, we jacked it up and we ran the line. Oh, this is going to be hard to film. We ran it down with the other fuel lines, and this is your fuel tank, and this is where that big muffler shoe goes. So underneath this, the instructions say to run it out through the top towards the front of the car. Oh god, sorry about the bad angles guys, let me stop filming this. And we are on step 8, I guess, so we're going to try to do that. And I honestly might stop recording right now so I can finish this, and we'll go over it tomorrow morning. So give me one sec. Well, for you guys it'll be a sec, for me it'll be a couple hours. Alright guys, so I mean, it's pretty late now, but I'm gonna still finish up the fuel return today. I'm using my daily to help me lighten this up. So let me show you guys how I ran the return to the fuel pump module, basically. Going underneath the car. So basically what we have is, this is the back of the car, and as you guys can see, well, it's zip tied, but I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. I zip tied the line all the way from the front of the car down the firewall following the OEM fuel lines. Zip tied in multiple spots. I ran it around this side, so you guys can see the braided line right there, around there, all the way through there, nice and secured, and up to the top of the fuel tank. Now I'm going to put this heat shield back, which is where like the big OEM muffler goes. And inside the car, not sure if I recorded that, but I got the little fuel pump module out. Haven't taken that apart, but I ran the line completely, and I drained most of that old, fuel, because that was just unleaded. Now we gotta use premium unleaded 93, baby. So yeah, that's pretty much it for running the line. It's not too hard. I thought it was gonna come out like through a grommet or something, but that's pretty cool. I've never really worked on the fuel system on this, or any car really, but let's see. Now I gotta get the two halves separated on step 9, so we can put that 90-degree fitting. This one. That one. Alright, here we have the little fuel pump module. And I completely separated the two halves. Just with a flathead. It's pretty easy to just knock it up. Just be sure not to pry too hard. So, I believe they gave us one of these to replace in the kit somewhere. Hopefully. Oh, gross. Where'd it go? Bitch. I think it's in here. Yeah, here we go. Pretty sure they said this is gonna replace that, or like that. I'll see. But first, luckily about marine soldering, because we're gonna have to disconnect the OEM fuel pump and drop in our awesome AEM high flow fuel pump. There's a few of the specs. So we can run E85 with this, make more power. So awesome. Alright guys, so we have the OEM crusty fuel pump out, and this is interesting because it came with a thing to connect, splice into the harness, and I mean it's covered in fuel, so I was kind of nervous about having to do that, but luckily this is just a drop-in. So this is the harness that comes in the fuel pump module. This is our AEM upgraded fuel pump. How about that for an aesthetics mod? But anyway, so this little harness right here actually, surprisingly, it's hard to do with one hand, and my tripod is kind of busted, so bear with me. Okay, let me just try to get this in. Alright, see? It actually plugs right in. No modification required. That's awesome. I was expecting to have to solder this and stuff, though. I got this off of the original fuel pump, and I put the new I guess filter for the fuel pump, and it looks a little bit different than the OEM one. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I'm pretty sure there's a reason for the shape of it, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. Okay, so apparently I was wrong actually. Correction, just slides in barely, but you can't click it into place, so I'm gonna have to cut this and solder that new little harness on, because as you guys can see, it doesn't go in, versus the OEM one, when you put it in, see? Yeah, more fuel, but it clicks in. So it's getting kind of late, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do that right now. Alright, so with a little Christmas tree bit, we drilled that hole that's just big enough to fit this 90 for the return line in there. Pretty snug and just big enough. On the other end, we're just gonna secure it with the nut in there, and we should be good. Alright guys, so we are on step 10, which is removing the OEM fuel pressure regulator, which is this little guy right here, which was in this part of the second half of this fuel pump assembly. So what we're doing basically is deleting it and putting this guy in there. Just gonna put that O-ring onto here, like it says right there on step 10 or 11. 11 basically. So what we're basically doing is just deleting this. There's no hole in here, so my guess is we're basically just deleting this fuel pressure regulator and using this. So that should just pop in there like that, and that's it. Should probably leave that on a paper towel. So now what I gotta do is splice this connector into the upper half, and it is currently almost 12 in the morning. I'm gonna be here for a minute. So I'm gonna have to reuse the filter because this one, it's like the shape, this one's extended outward and clears this little bottom cap assembly, and then I would have to cut it up and it wouldn't even be secured. So I'm just gonna reuse this. I kind of messed it up there when I was taking it out because I thought I wasn't gonna use it. So, I mean, it's a hairline thing, but I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. I hope. So, I'm gonna just modify that little bottom part and just cut a little bit out of it, and I should be good. I'm debating whether I should wait till the morning to go get a new little fuel filter. We'll see though. Alright guys, we have the lower half of the module assembled. I just cut that with a little bit of a Harbor Freight knife. It's not too tough material, it's just plastic. And I'm just going to reuse the filter. It's pretty clean. Nothing too major, I believe. Alright guys, well, I was afraid of soldering this, but I made sure to shake it off very well. So there was no fuel in the top part, most of it's in the bottom part anyway. So I ended up soldering these, putting marine heat shrink over them because it's like waterproof and fuel proof and it seals it in really nice. So green, positive, or red, and this gray one, as you guys can see, it's grounded right there, so it's a ground. If you guys paid attention when we removed it off of the original pump, it kind of tells you right there. But now this is gonna go into our new pump. Awesome. And we got the return line fitting in there too. We'll see how that's gonna fit, but should be good. Alright guys, I'm about to seal this up. That's basically the final product. I barely have enough room here. And the sensor was originally facing basically where this was. So I kind of took this little yellow clip out of here and kind of rotated it. It's just a sensor either way. It's more important that this is fastened down and that's fastened down because I'm pretty sure that's the feed line. This is your evap line, so that's important. That's nice and snug. This doesn't really move. And alright guys, so my phone is about to die, so I gotta make this real quick. Put sealant on these fittings right here, the straight one on the right side, and sealant on the left, and I mean pop in the injectors, I guess, and disconnect the original one, and we're done. Luckily, because it's like 1 in the morning now. Remove the fuel line, and I believe this tool is actually on here wrong. It's supposed to go, this is supposed to go into that little groove and push that out.